Station Gang. Welcome back to another brand new episode of Ink and Insights, our weekly comic book highlight reel breakdown show where we talk about our favorite issues from Marvel, DC, Image, and Indies and what we love most about them. As always, I'm your boy Stu from Dr. Doom Sand Club, joined by my homie E from 9 Panel Grid. Sorry we're late. We were over celebrating our boy Robbie's 10-year anniversary. Shout out to him over at Pop Culture Philosophers, and congrats, Robbie, on 10 years. But E, what up, bro? Good to see you, man. How you been?
Good to see you, man. Yeah, doing great, man. And coming over from Robbie's as well, man. What an incredible milestone for him, Robbie.
10 years, dude.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So I can't wait for us to be able to say Ink and Insights has been running for 10 years. So we'll get there. We just have a little bit of time.
Yeah, we got episode 50 coming up. That's our closest milestone. We are at 40.
We're putting a dent.
42 here tonight. We're going to talk about what do we got? We got 2 DC books and a indie on the docket for tonight, guys. Superman, Absolute Martian Manhunter, and Ice Cream Man. But we wanted to get started with some news here, and let me get us queued up. I think we'll start with the DC news here as they announce their new. We got the KO event.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Just general thoughts on this one. This is coming from Josh Williamson and Scott Snyder, and it's going to be an absolute slugfest. These guys are going to enter the I don't know. Hold on, my page is messing up on me.
It's essentially the big dumb fun event for DC, right? I mean, it's going
to be a slugfest with the tournament. They're going to have like 32 or something like that in there. But yeah, just real quick. Last year, absolute Batman writer Scott Snyder and Superman writer Josh Williamson reshaped the future of DC storytelling with the All-In special, the start of the DC All-In era, and the birth of the Absolute Universe. Now the duo returns as co-architects of a new bracket-style comic book event to continue I love the bracket-style idea, I gotta say. To continue the DC All-In saga they developed, Snyder helms the main DC KO event series with artist Javi Fernandez, while Williamson orchestrates the tie-ins that ripple across the DC universe. So Williamson is quoted as saying Snyder is a knockdown, drag-out fight between all your favorite DC superheroes in a cosmic tournament to save the universe from Darkseid. And then Williamson says, Darkseid is involved in something bigger and stronger than ever. He's destroyed the future. There's no future for the DC universe because of what he's done. The hero's only shot is to stop him in the present. So yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not very familiar with Javi Fernandez though, but regardless, I'm still super excited for this one.
Yeah, I trust the teams involved with this. I think that since even before the DC All-In special, but I think both you and I agree the DC All-In special was a huge moment for DC and a huge moment for comics once it hit. I think that was reshaping the landscape of DC in a big bad way, so much to the point where I gotta say, like, I think they're my favorite publisher right now, like bar none. Like every single book that comes out is quality. The storytelling is super sound, and the creative teams, you could tell there's a lot of thought and care, and maybe a little bit of this that's put behind it. And that's great for the industry. It's great for the readers. And this just looks like big, dumb fun, dude. I'm right there with you. Bracket style fighting to harness Omega energy to then find out who can take on Darkseid.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude. Like that. Come on. That sounds fantastic.
So who you got? Who are your front runners, man?
Well, I mean, dude, there's a lot of individuals that you just can't count out immediately. One of them being Superman. He's kind of the prototypical superhero.
Yeah. I guess a better question is, I'm sorry to interrupt. Who do you think is a better dark horse besides like the obvious heavyweight big bruisers? Who do you think is like a dark horse that might do some damage?
Booster Gold.
Ooh.
I have no idea why, only because he's so intrinsically involved with both the Absolute and DC universe because of the All-In special. I think that he's going to definitely be a catalyst for something, whether it's him doing it or just him being there that does something about it. So, like, I would have to throw his name out in the ring. Ooh, like, I mean, can you consider Batman a dark horse? Because he's just like, he's always 10 moves ahead of everyone, but also, like, he's just a man. He's just a dude like all of us that just happens to maybe, work out a hell of a lot more than at least I know I do. So
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. I think they're gonna probably spotlight Mr. Terrific just based on the film and stuff like that. I bet he'll get pretty far in the tourney.
He had a little bit of a glow up, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know though, man. There's so many possibilities. Um, I'm excited for this though. I think it's a interesting little pivot, but I think it'll be good, and it's a solid event. I think for comic books as far as like just the way they're built. This will be dope to see the next big versus issue. You know what I mean? People will be looking forward to that. So
yeah, here we go. Merc knows what's up. Merc knows what's up. Just saying. King Omega.
That would be wild, dude. That would be wild.
But who's your dark horse, man? Come on, shoot your shot. Name your name.
I don't know. It would be cool to see somebody like Spectre. I've always had a soft spot for Spectre ever since like Kingdom Come and stuff like that.
Okay.
He's not necessarily a dark horse though, just because he's a being of huge power. But I don't know, man. I kind of asked that question and hadn't thought about it a lot myself.
Jimmy Olsen, come on.
Jimmy Olsen would be. Yeah. Jimmy Olsen would find a way, right?
He would. He always finds a way.
I would love to see Swamp Thing get far in the tourney. I don't know how that would happen though.
He controls the green, my friend. You're picking these ultra powerful beings. Come on.
I know. All right, I'll go Animal Man since Grant Morrison left.
Okay, he's gonna break the fourth wall and save us all.
Something like that. He's probably gonna get torn to bits though.
Probably.
Yeah, I need somebody who's a little sturdier, I think. So let me think on that one. But
right.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see some cool matches, regardless of what they come up with. You know what I mean? We all love who would win and somebody versus somebody. Ooh, Merc says Red Hood. Yeah.
There we go. Nothing wrong with Jason Todd. I think it's going to be interesting. You know, the first thing it reminded me of, which maybe isn't a great comparison, but a comparison nonetheless, Marvel versus DC. Like, you know, pitting hero versus hero, you know, and that was done in a bit of a cheesy way, especially the Wolverine Lobo fight. Come on, you cheated us, Marvel and DC, both of you. They can't disappear behind a bar and then Wolverine pops up as the winner. Like, that's so cheap and so shady. But it reminded me of that. And I'm like, that kind of harkens back to a cool, I don't know, to a cool event laden time that makes me feel young again. And I'll take that every day.
Yeah, very true. All right, moving on to the House of Ideas and their big, I guess, reveal amongst other things for at least comic book wise at San Diego Comic-Con. So Marvel announced that they're gonna be doing the Ultimate Endgame. Of course, they use the. What do you think about them using the Endgame moniker? And this is the first time.
I mean,
I think that we've seen like a movie kind of be the name source for the event. It's kind of interesting that they're letting the films kind of dictate the name here. I'm not mad at them for cashing in on the phrase, but
yeah, I mean, I can't be mad. I remember for the longest time we kept hearing the speculation about what Endgame was going to be called because we had Infinity War. So were we going to get Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity Crusade, which would have been really weird, but everyone kept speculating. And I remember Avengers Forever, arguably the greatest Avengers story ever, by the way. I remember that title being thrown out there a lot. And I was like, oh man. So it feels similar to that train of thought that I had back then, where it was the comic dictating the title this way. Now it's like we're getting Endgame, but for the Ultimate Universe. I kind of dig it. Like, I feel like I shouldn't say I gripe about the lack of synergy between comics and the movies themselves, albeit I want the movies to pump up the comics more than anything. But like, if this could build upon that idea, maybe it's a backdoor way to get moviegoers excited about comics that maybe aren't initially excited about it. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, Very true. Real quick, before I just get to the particulars of the story, you got Omega in the building, Omega Station, bro.
What up?
What up, man? Good to have you here, bro. Hope you are doing well. Good to see you. John in the building, John Station,
John?
sir. Hell yeah,
Dude,
John. Did you go?
too.
I know it's out. It's out your way. Did John go? I did not. I know it's out. John's out there near you somewhere.
Yeah, a little bit south. So he's closer and more capable of hitting up San Diego Comic-Con. So John, if you're still here, let us know if you attended.
Yeah, and it does look like a massive event, though, doesn't it, bro? Just like
it looks like
the lines and the crowds. It is a different beast.
Yeah, it looks like an introvert's nightmare, is what it looks like.
Which I think any kind of con is in a way, but like that one especially so.
Heroes is like a cozy blanket that you put on, man, and it just makes you feel safe. I'll say that much.
Oh yeah. All right, real quick before I get too far ahead of myself. This was at the panel. They had Hickman, Sobolski, Will Moss, Dennis Camp, Chris Condon. I mean, they got our homies on it. You know what I mean? They got our boys on it.
These are the people I trust. That.
Yeah, I love that the Camp and Condon are kind of like you know, spearheading this as far as like the writers' room, as it were. You know, and Hickman as well. He seems kind of like separate though. It feels like Camp and Condon are really directing.
Oh yeah. It feels like Hickman's already handed just the baton off to Dennis Camp, and maybe his fingertips are just still touching the baton, just a bit.
But we got. It's going to be a 5-part event series. Jonas Scharf is going to be involved as well, and Ultimate Spider-Man is going to be wrapping up with issue number 24, the final issue of the run. Fans should prepare themselves for a startling finale that will cement the run as one of the most beloved Spider-Man runs in recent history, packed with dramatic and shocking developments for the entire Parker family. Peter, Mary Jane, Richard May, and Uncle Ben, along with Harry Osborn, Gwen Stacy, and more. The issue will also create promising roadmaps for future storytelling. I love this Hickman quote, y'all. This is why I wanted to bring it up. This was everything that I pitched, he said. It's such a Belichick line. I just love that. He did explain himself a little bit more. Nothing has deviated. It's been really nice to execute the plan well, and everything culminates into this issue. I mean, very A to B, but that's dope that everything has gone well. I do think they could have done just a little bit better job with the artwork, but that's all good. It just would have been nice to have Chiquetto through the whole thing, and it's felt like they were close to that, but it is what it is.
All in all, I gotta say, man, I feel like Ultimate Spider-Man still had the best quality. There's been a lot of quality artwork, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's been the best duo of artists. I've liked Dave Messina so much so that I feel like given a different title, given the right title, I think he could be an ongoing artist, and that would excite me.
Yeah, and I thought they really picked their spots well as far as like what you know, all the big dramatic, all the issues that Chiquetto needed to draw, basically he did draw. Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was really a good job in that sense.
Also, before you move on here, can I just make a comment? And I kind of want to get your opinion on this. Does that quote feel maybe a little bit, I don't know, maybe pointed isn't the right word, but it's the first one that comes to mind. But doesn't that feel like Hickman saying, hey, Krakoa fans, remember that? Yeah, it kind of sucked for all of us, but fear not. This is everything that I had laid out. This was my plan from start to finish. And doesn't it feel good to know that this is everything that I planned and you're getting the complete story, the complete epic arc of Hickman on Spider-Man? It feels that way to me, at least.
It does. It is a little tongue-in-cheek in that way. Let me ask you this. Do you think like this is really a fresh breath of air and like a new initiative for Marvel? Like it seems like they're really putting a lot of energy for it behind this, like moving forward as well. Like there's going to be a whole bunch of new Ultimate stories, or am I wrong in kind of assuming that?
I mean, that I think we're going to find out. That's kind of the cool thing, is that we don't know where this goes, and they've kind of played coy a little bit, you know what I mean? So that the Ultimate Universe could end. And maybe that is the initiative. And it would be wild if that's the case, because I feel like it's the strongest Marvel work that's out there right now. But I don't know. And it's kind of cool to say that, most of the time we can read the tea leaves and we know it's like, okay, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. I'm at least a shade clueless. If I were a betting man, I'd put my money on the fact that the Ultimate Universe would continue. But who knows?
Yeah, so true, bro. I don't know. I think I'm with you that like it would continue, but I don't know. I think it would be so Ultimate Universe of them to end it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's always had that.
Would that be?
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
It's been such a cool, and dude, one thing I do want to say now that we're talking about it, even though it's kind of a little left of center, is I just want to shout out Peach, man, for drawing all her issues and really putting in a complete body of work. And I think she should be immensely proud of that. I think, that book had so many detractors on its way. And I think, officially at its genesis and at its start and at launch and stuff like that, and the way she's kind of fought through that and like maintained it, and never ever not been on that book, and it's been awesome. So like whether the story is for you or not for you, I think we got to salute Peach, because of all the Ultimate books, she's really the only one who's held it down issue through issue. So shout out to her.
So true. Yeah. And I can't remember where I said this previously. It might have been on the Comic Book Look Ahead on Comic Culture's channel. But I think that book just had the burden of its title, which was, Ultimate X-Men. If you take X-Men out of the equation, and that's just a Peach book doing Peach things, like I think that it had a chance to be arguably even more successful than it was, or at least maybe not have the backlash of people having preconceived notions on what it should be and then not getting that delivered. Because at the end of the day, I stuck around for quite a while. And it was consistently the same book, but it was still consistently quality. It was just that it wasn't the same way the title makes you feel, I guess, if you have history with those characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was, I just love how inspired her vision of the team is, you know what I mean? And how it's all those young kids and how it's all kind of coming together. And it's such a uniquely Peach book. And I just respect the hell out of her for kind of seeing her artistic vision through. I completely agree with what you're saying about that, dude. Like part of me loves it because it is an Ultimate book and that it's something new and refreshing and edging it in a sense and its own thing, but it's also like, I think if they and like years ago, right? Like I feel like she deserved a chance to kind of have her own shot at something like that. And but it's just I don't know what the thought there was though, but it ended up being Ultimates ended up being the Ultimate X-Men book. I think that we thought we were going to get, in the sense that like it was a teen book and it was, you know what I mean? It's kind of carried the torch for the Ultimate Universe as far as like things getting developed through that.
Yeah, and it seems like Ultimate Wolverine is picking up on the mutant story in the ways that, again, the ways that I anticipated Peach's book would. So, we're getting, two great tastes that go great together, I guess.
Very true. Very true. And I just want to say, Peach Momoko on that, what is it? That Darth Vader black, white, and red tail issue, guys. Like if y'all see that out there and you see the issue with Peach's, I forget what issue it is, with Peach's story in it. It's absolutely fantastic. Just unbelievable art from her. It's horrific, but it's incredibly engaging and beautiful. So I gotta shout that story out. That's all. Every time I think about like my favorite Peach thing, that's one of them. So
yeah, totally.
All right, last bit of news. Second, we got our Eisner winners.
Hey, they did a couple good things here.
They did, right? Like, so we had our issues with the nominations, and I thought we put on a really good show over on your channel on 9 Panel Grid, where we kind of did our own Eisners and the books and creators that we thought should be nominated. But yeah, let's let's get to some of the books or slash winners that we were happy to see. Um, you know, get recognized, get spotlighted. First up, best continuing series, Santos Sisters, dude. What?
Like,
Santos Sisters beat Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, what is happening?
how are you not like, even if you don't agree with that, how are you not delighted over the fact that Santos Sisters takes best continuing series? Like, the nominees are what the nominees are going to be, and of that group, like, come on, Greg and Fake, y'all earned it.
So
Congratulations.
just for context, they're competing against Department of Truth, Detective Comics, Fantastic Four, Ultimate Spider-Man, and Wonder Woman. So like it's crazy that Greg and Fake were able to pull that out against so much stiffer and different competition from major books, man. It's awesome. So shout outs to everybody involved over at Floating World and Greg and Fake and everybody that puts the book together. It's just such a what was once a slept on favorite, I think, is really becoming internationally known on the microphone, and it's just beautiful to see. Another one I was so happy to see, dude. Best limited series, Zatanna, Bring Down the House. Mariko Tamaki and Javier Rodríguez won. I was like, there were some solid nominees in this one. Rare Flavors, Helena Winhorn. But dude, I was so happy. I think Javier's artwork in this was just what's next level. I think it really has, set his career on fire. And now the stuff he's doing in Manhunter is also next level. And I just can't wait to see what he does next. But this was like what put him on the map for me, and it was also just a great story about a character that I usually have very little interest in. So it was so great to see that book get champion.
Dude, yeah, it's really cool. This was a stacked lineup. I didn't read The Deviant, but I heard a lot of good things. I think particularly from John's Comics with Friends and White Whale Comics. They were loving The Deviant. I didn't read Alan Scott Green Lantern. The rest of these, though, it's crazy. Helena Winhorn could definitely have won. Rare Flavors, could have definitely won. The fact that Zatanna won, though, pretty crazy. I'm so glad that we were clued into it. I've been a Javier appreciator from a distance for a while now, from his work with Al Ewing on Defenders and Defenders Beyond, and his history of the Marvel Universe work. Really stupendous stuff, and just you see him getting better and better and better.
So what was his style like back then?
Very, very similar, very reminiscent to what you saw. Very ethereal, very dreamlike, but very classic. It's like, it's still got those I guess all red flavors. If I'm making a comparison to another artist in there, like it's a lot of what you still get here. It's just really good. He's just been
such a when those guys trend classic, like you said, like all red, like Javier, like Sam Nee, Darwin Cook, Michael Cho, those guys who have that more classical, like almost retro stylized line work. Man, I'm such a sucker for that, dude.
And it's not even like a matter of Javier. Like, I'm sure he's quietly getting better in the background, but sometimes you watch an artist and you see them level up and you're just like, oh, like here's where they were here. Javier's been good this entire time. Let me take that back. Javier's been great this entire time. More importantly, though, I just don't feel like the spotlight had been shown on him. He's been kind of flying under the radar. And now people are like, wow, this dude's been doing this. And like, the people that know, and there's like, yeah, dude, like you gotta really pay attention to this guy because he's doing fantastic work. And now we get to see that, more prominently.
It's not only the line work, it's the color work, both in Zatanna and Manhunter is just what?
Yeah.
So it's an artist fully realized, dude. It's a beautiful thing. Moving on, dude, and another book I was so happy to see get the nod. Absolute Wonder Woman wins Best New Series over Absolute Batman, Minor Arcana, The Pedestrian, The Power Fantasy.
It's almost perfect.
And Uncanny Valley. But this book has been perfect, honestly. Not a bad issue, not a misstep. Just rapturous. Every time I read it, I feel like I'm reading some like ancient scroll that's just got this radical badass art of this, Badass warrior witch. Like, it's just such a unique take on the character. I just love everything about this book. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So I think it definitely deserved best new series. As good as Power Fantasy is, I don't know if I can put it above Absolute Wonder Woman.
Yeah, in my mind and my heart, it is truly 1A and 1B. I think that Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman are one of the perfect duos in comics. I love what you say about the scroll too, because I think that's a lot of what Hayden is bringing to the book with their very interesting and unique panel layouts. Like they're one of those people that, again, I keep saying it, like they're doing things that are different and special that you just don't see. It's not about panel breaks anymore. Like, come on, we already broke the rules with panel breaks back in, way back in the day here. Let's be bold with what we're doing in comic books. And that's what Hayden is doing here. So is Casper Wingard, though. Just saying.
Yeah. No, Casper's killing it. Omega said real quick, Peach Momoka made me a Marvel fan, even the Demon's Day stuff. Hell yeah, bro.
Dude, Absolutely. Demon Days, she was doing Age of Apocalypse spin-offs in her very unique way, her Peach way. Yeah, dude, she's killing it.
And The Deviant was good. I really liked that book. I kind of like binge read all of it and like over the course of 2 days, but I really enjoyed it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, that sucks that it suffered delays. I did not know that. Yeah, but I think it's got great art, really dope story. I think Tinian really hits a stride there in that story. Not too extended, not too long, and it's the killer's got a the killer has a great look in that one.
When Tynan works, he works.
Yes. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a little too long. All right. I was trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to shout out, dude. Is there any other books that? Oh, dude. One Hand and the Six Fingers, one for best graphic album reprint.
Yeah, the thing that kind of bugs me about that, though, I'm glad that Ron V, Dan Waters, the whole team involved with that. I'm glad that they get their their spotlight. But come on, man, you're not going to throw Tom Muller out there, the designer that makes, especially for the graphic reprint.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to put the person's name out there that designed the way that the actual graphic novel looks. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, best archival project.
Yeah, year one got the nod. Definitely deserved that. It's a book I'm glad to own. I mean, it's a giant. I need to find some way to display it, like some giant book holder or something like that, because it's just beautiful, and I just don't want it to sit over in the corner all the time. But it's just gorgeous to see that art up close. It's really cool. Some of the things they also do with like the goodies in the back, and dude, I love that book. Dude.
That book belongs in the nightstand of every motel and hotel the same way that the frickin' King James Bible is. Okay, every single one, every room needs Batman Year One.
Yeah, especially if you travel alone and you need something warm to cuddle up to. The thing is like damn near the size of a human being, so you could use it as like a body pillow or something. It is humongous. So. I'm trying to think if anything else, dude. I know Charles Burns got an award. Who won Best Writer?
The new writer of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Gene Luen Yang.
Oh wow.
That's what I said too.
He's got one book on here.
It must have been a heck of a book, man. I haven't read it, so I can't speak to it.
Come on.
But look at the competition, though. Tom King put out some amazing things. Ron V put out amazing things. Kelly Thompson put out amazing things. Tynan's Tynan.
Yeah. That is wow.
It makes me excited, though.
I think at the very least, it's between. You could probably make an argument for Tom, but for me, it's from an objective standpoint, it's definitely between Rom and Kelly, and those are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I don't know.
Here's the cool thing, though. Like, I haven't read it, so like I said, I can't really like critique the pick. But it's cool things like this. If it weren't for Zoe Thorogood winning an Eisner for It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth, I may not have read that book. And that book is stupendous. I may not know the name Zoe Thorogood, which is crazy because, again, she's out there doing fantastic work.
No, that's very true, bro. That's very true. There's definitely a bunch of books that have been put on that the Eisners have put me onto. There it is. There's Charles Burns, best writer artist. Hell yeah, well deserved. Emil Ferris also in that category. We love Emil here. Ian and I both fans of My Favorite Thing is Monsters. So if you guys haven't read that on Fantagraphics, she just released book 2. But yeah, check out book 1, man. Incredible artist, incredible story.
Yeah,
highly recommend that.
Gripping story.
Oh yeah, Bilkis Evely run best penciler / inker for Helena Windhorn. Hell yeah.
Again, stacked competition, and I can't argue it. Like, but 4 out of 5 people are there, or whatever. I can't count.
Seriously, that might be the most stacked category they got right there. Good lord.
Javier deserves it. Bilquist deserves it. Dracoda deserves it. Felipe Andrade.
I want to check out this road book. This Cormac McCarthy. This got another nomination in another category. I saw it in.
You looking to get depressed, brother?
Dude, I love Cormac McCarthy. Yeah, why not? Why not, man? Why not? Yeah, that story's heavy.
It is. It's very, very heavy.
So yeah, we got the penciler for that same Jin Luan Yang book here, the Lunar New Year love story. So
could be good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just latch onto those international, those books, those feel good type of, you know what I mean? I don't know. So,
I mean,
we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Yeah. Check back later when we give our gripping review.
Best coloring, Jordi Belair. Hell yeah, Jordi.
Okay. I mean,
I know. I would have voted Mateus.
That's me too. But it's okay. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, Dave Stewart absolutely deserves some flowers too. But I assume he's gotten it before. Best lettering, who would you have voted for?
Dude, okay. This is actually hard, and it's between 2 people that are on this list, and one of the 2 picks got it. And for me, my heart says Becca Carey because her name kind of came onto the scene for me late last year, early this year. But Clayton Cowles is no joke. He's out there putting in effort on a ton of books. And if we're going to give people like Hassan Otsmane-Elhaou their flowers for doing the same thing and keeping it inventive and bold and unique, well, we talk about books like Batman and Robin Year One. Tell me he's not killing it on that book the same way the rest of that creative team is. It goes to show. I think Clayton, the volume and the consistency and the uniqueness that he can bring interspersed between those titles, I think it was a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, definitely. Clayton always has a incredible, resume, and he's always incredibly busy. But it would have been nice to see Becca get the nod, though. But, yeah, and where's Haas, dude? No Haas? There's a letterer on here with just one book. I get that, I love that Emil made it though.
That's pretty cool. That's unique because for those of you who haven't read My Favorite Thing is Monsters book 1 or 2, it's such an incredibly unique experience. And so for her to be shouted out for lettering the book, if you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, after we're all done talking here, maybe, go check it out. Go check out Hoopla, go check out your local comic book store. Find a way to get this in your hands.
Oh yeah. Real quick, Simpleton said, explain to me what makes the OH/SF reprint the best.
I would argue, Simpleton, you tell us.
Dude, I don't know. Yours, I was about to say, I thought yours deserved the crown. That flip book that you had, dude, was sheesh.
They saw Simpleton's pictures and they're like, oh, that must be the thing, and then they voted on it.
Wow. That was incredible. Near Zero said Mazzucchelli is my favorite comic artist of all time. Hell yeah, dude. Great taste. Dude. I read those Batman Year One issues as they were released. His Daredevil work is amazing too. Yeah. It's just he's just so immaculate. It's unreal. Just looking at his artwork, just how beautiful his line work is, really. It's just perfect. It's just there's something about it that I can't even really put to words the way it speaks to me, but it's magical.
And let's not forget, too, he came on the scene, he did his thing with the superhero genre, and then he peaced out. and then he was working on his own thing with Rubber Blankets and oh my God, it's slipping my mind now.
Asterios
Polyp. Thank you. Yeah. I was like, man, I know I'm gonna mess this
up. You put me onto that book.
Robbie put me onto that book also. Shout out Robbie, 10-year anniversary. Mazzucchelli, it's just incredible. Yeah, I Near Zero. Yeah, like I'm jealous that you were picking that up as it came out. I was an age range clearly, just adjacent to you, so I missed out on that. But very much having the same feeling. He is one of my absolute all-time favorite artists. Yeah. Got to be in the top 5 for sure.
Tinian is my fave. Hell yeah, bro. I ain't mad at you.
No, it can't be.
Jordy Belair should win first. Dude. That's a good call. The Sword of Crisis events, I loved it. Like the limited color palette, kind of in each issue, but it's really worked, especially in that last one with the what was it, the reds and the blues or whatever.
Jordy's been pushing the boundaries on what it means to be a colorist, and I feel like she's pushing the medium. And now whether it works all the time, that's to be seen. Right? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but. Dude, like she's being incredibly inventive and she's finding new bold ways to color these books that make them exciting. So again, shout out to her.
Absolutely. Yeah. And well deserved. All right, let's go ahead and start with our books of the week, starting with Absolute Martian Manhunter number 4. Speaking of Javier, doing the both the penciling and the coloring here, Dennis Camp writing, of course, and Haas on letters. Dude, this one are things ratchet up just a bit, right? I think I did my slides backwards here. Yeah, but things ratchet up a bit in this episode. We got humanity really turned on each other in a variety of ways, and basically John and the Martian are flying around town trying to stop these things, trying to stop people from harming each other, right?
Yep.
And in the end, they both get rammed by an ambulance and knocked unconscious while we are worried about John's wife and child who are getting attacked by one of these. It's like, everybody is on the crazy sauce. Everybody has gone wild and they're turning on each other, right? There's a movie reference I'm missing here. What movie fits perfectly for what I'm talking about here? We've all turned on each other. Everybody in town has turned on each other, and it's like, it's like a drug, right? The all the effects that the White Martian has wrought on this town are come to fruition, and it's working like a toxin that's taken over the population. They're trying to, cooks are putting glass in burgers, guys are shooting chemicals in Oreos. We're doing all sorts of heinous things.
The glass in the burger is a rough panel to look at. That made me, I sat there and I was just like, I cringed a little bit, like, oh my God, that's rough, dude. That is seriously rough.
And I love how good like Javier makes that burger look in that bottom panel. You know what I mean? Like that thing looks fantastic. Like it's so well done. I love the way he colors it. I love his coloring choices. I could talk about it all day, but yeah, dude, what did you thoughts on this issue here as things, John and the Martian are basically running around town trying to put out fires right and left. I'll be right back.
Okay. If I'm being honest, and I'm glad you're stepping away here, I have to say, of all the issues that we've gotten of Absolute Martian Manhunter, I feel like this was the most difficult venture as a single issue experience. And I think that Javier's work on it did so much of the heavy lifting on this book to make the storytelling as cohesive as it possibly could be, because the narrative that Dennis Camp puts out here, I feel like is the most challenging version of what it could have been. And that's not a bad thing. It is definitely a critique, though, because it's not something that you can dive in here. None of these have been easy breezy reads. And that's, that goes against what the whole statement of the book is, right? This is not supposed to be an easy read. This one is particularly difficult to get through, though, because it didn't have the flow of a normal story structure. It wasn't jumpy per se, but it was definitely beat to beat to beat, seeing all these different interactions and seeing all these different people being influenced by the White Martian, taking on these dastardly deeds, the Martian Manhunter and the detective not being able to do everything in their power to stop these things from happening, trying their best, but it was really just beat, point A to point B to point C. But Javier definitely made this a more enjoyable experience and an experience that allows you to get through the story in a cohesive way here, as long as you take your time with the issue. And maybe I'm a simple-minded individual. I'll own up to that. But I do think that this was a very challenging issue. One that also opens up some big, bad plot devices here, particularly the one that's right in the center of the screen here, none other than Darkseid himself.
Yeah, so that is Darkseid, right? Okay.
Yeah, making his first appearance.
I spent a good bit of time trying to figure that out. Yeah, what's up with the stuff on his back, dude?
I don't know, man. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
It is. Yeah. This was such an incredible panel.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Or page, rather.
Yeah, I dug it. I feel like this was the most challenging, the most challenging issue of arguably the most challenging series that's come out here, maybe this year.
Challenging in what way?
Narratively, it was structured in a not overly peculiar way, but in a peculiar enough way that without you take pictures away from it, and you can say this for a lot of comics, but you take pictures away from it, and narratively, this story was so jumpy that it lost me in a lot of different places if it weren't for Javier kind of dragging me along in certain situations where he's like, come on, like play catch up. The story's over here now, dude, and that's where we're at. So come on with me. The narrative didn't do that for me. The artwork did a lot of the heavy lifting for me.
Okay. I thought it was I still think like I love how this one, the whole thing's felt like a fever dream, right? Like
yes, yeah,
and it's hard to pick out like what's real and what's not sometimes, and like you wonder like I don't know, so much of like what they're trying to show you sometimes is something that isn't real, and it's like it's great as a reader having that challenge of working through the symbology of like the imagery and the things they're doing, like as far as like the harmony between like the storytelling and the art. Like I love this part here when you know what I mean, like and Javier does this multiple times throughout all these issues where he has these beautiful little scenes where he brings the story and his art together in such a unique way. He had it last issue when the alien was making the guy, like he was like peering in his mind and having him remember this memory of his neighbor taking care of his helping out with his sick wife and stuff like that. It's just I don't know, it's beautiful little moments like that where how he brings it together. Also coloring.
The book dances with greatness, and I feel like, but I feel like that's a lot of Javier's work on here, and maybe there's a more cohesive nature behind the scenes that we'd be none the wiser to. But Javi is what's doing it for me on this book.
Oh yeah. So this isn't your favorite Deniz Camp book then? No.
Well, I mean, it's definitely not my favorite Deniz Camp single issue experience. I'll say that much. Favorite book, time will tell. They're all in the running, which is crazy to think of. Like when I think of Deniz Camp, I'm like, ooh, it's like a juggling act. Like this one's my favorite this week. This one's my favorite that week. So
yeah, thanks.
Also, notice how I don't know how to juggle. I'm like throwing the balls like at the wall.
Dude, I don't even ask me to juggle shit. Yeah. I've never been. I could do maybe 2, but you put 3 in the mix, and I
no.
Vern, what up, brother? Station, y'all make sure you subbed up, checked out Blood or Spider Chatter. If you love great horror reviews, I will be over there tomorrow night with Vern doing what is it again? There's blood, lace, and black in the title. I forget.
Ooh, it must be what riveting order. For you to forget the title.
It's Italian Giallo, man. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, still haven't gotten to watch that one yet, but I will by Showtime tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So check out Vern over there on Blood Spider Chatter.
Well, if it's Giallo, isn't the rule you have to have an animal and then like an object? Isn't it like the bird with the crystal plumage?
There it is.
It's like
blood and black lace.
Okay, there we are.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Following all the rules, So hell yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to
tree with the machete.
Dude, Giallo was such a freaking gnarly just corner of the horror genre. I love it. It's beautiful. So
To quote Frank Reynolds from Always Sunny, it's like a beautiful dance with a chainsaw.
amen, brother. Amen. Yeah. It is indeed. All right, man. Moving on.
Let's
go.
Yeah.
Oh, first Jello. Oh yeah, dude. Superman 28. Yeah, dude. This one was righteous.
Yes.
Pretty hardcore for some pretty hardcore moments in this one. It was great to see Dan back. But yeah, E, why don't you take the reins on this one, dude?
I would love to. Superman number 28, written by Joshua Williamson, artwork by Dan Mora. This was a banger of an issue, man. This was just a romp roaring freaking roller coaster ride that puts Superman through the ringer. I'm so glad, first and foremost, to have Dan Mora back on this book for the couple issues where we had Eddie Burroughs on there and a couple other fill-in artists, and apologies, I can't remember who it was at the time, but it was good. And I really like Eddie Burroughs. In fact, I think that's the Superman special, or no, I'm sorry, there's Lex Luthor special, really kind of put him on the scene for me in a big bad way. But I feel like when Dan Mora is on this book, it just sings. Yeah. And I think him paired with the colorist on this book is doing top tier work. But what happens is that Superman is kind of trying to figure out, like, there's the sense of the DC All-In initiative, like in the comic book universe, though. There's a feeling that something needs to happen. Superman's feeling like he spent all this time in the future as Superboy with the Legion of Superheroes, kind of honing his skills at that time. And he feels like if there's any way for the future to move forward, if there's any way for betterment, he has to basically reach out to the Legion of Superheroes themselves. Well, lo and behold, the Legion is also looking for him. But it's not the Legion that you would expect, nor is it the one that he wants to meet, because this is the Omega Legion of Superheroes, and they do nothing but mess with our boy Kal-El in a truly traumatic way. At every turn, they are in his head, messing with him, making him believe Mom, Pa, Kent are dying, that all of his friends are in peril. They are crushing the watchtower in orbit of Earth, watching, I mean, the panel that you call out here, watching Mr. Terrific get scrunched like a bug, man. It's all in his head, thank God. But man, what a traumatic series of events, because you can tell he is struggling throughout all of this. And there's a good long while where you're kind of, as the reader, also sitting here going, whoa, is this something that is really happening? Like, I mean, we know that probably not, but it does enough through the storytelling mechanisms to really make you feel like, oh man, maybe this is the kickoff of year 2 for the DC All-In initiative, because it feels big and bold in that exciting way that DC has been very recently. Now, it turns out that it's all in his head, and it's the manipulations that are going on here. So before I go on here, let me ask you, do you have a background, though, with the Legion of Superheroes? I do not, but I'm
No.
slowly but surely being caught up on it. So what's your background with these characters? Did you have any emotional resonance to this?
No, like Cosmic Boy and what is it? Lightning Lad, Cosmic Saturn Girl and Cosmic Boy, but no background. But they were, I think it's like, because I'm assuming by those names, they're like Golden Age characters almost, right?
So the premise of the Legion of Superheroes, in its simplest terms, is that it's in the year 3000, and in the year 3000 there is this cavalcade of superheroes, and they are bonded together through their appreciation and through the maybe appreciation isn't the right word, but basically the pathos that Superman lived by. They're all inspired by Superman as a superhero, which makes them take on the mantle of superpowered beings as well. So they kind of hold Kal-El on a pedestal. Then, in his youth, Kal-El is, jettisoned into the future as Superboy and becomes part of the Legion, who then further inspires them to continue their superheroics. So now then, Kal-El comes back. He becomes Superman in present day, but he knows what the future holds, and it's always kind of in his mindset that he has to make sure that humanity gets to where the Legion is in the future.
Okay. No history though, but man, they were, like you said, dude, it was crazy with the that scene with the watchtower where homeboy, and I love like when dude's like, "What are you gonna do? Are you gonna fling them all out? Are you gonna pull it out and watch them freeze into space or whatever?" And he's like, "Why must you always be so violent?" You know what I mean?
And then
and he takes that thing, he scrunches it, and like Superman's trying to, terrific, get out, terrific, like getting popped and everybody. And then he's like, "Man, that's a new record." He's like, "No one made it out." He's like, "I thought at least one of them would make it out." It's just like, it was like, that's what I love
brutal.
about how they staged it and how it was written, because you were up there in the air with these guys and you had no idea that this is like all in Superman's thoughts. You know what I mean? They showed you different perspectives like that. I thought that was really dope and well done. Because you were definitely questioning things, and I don't know, but when we got here to Cosmic Girls, like further mental manipulation of Clark, dude, I love this spread from Mora. This was just like, I feel like in every time he gets I feel like he's really he has a big passion for this character, because it feels like he's always just raring to let loose when it comes to this book. You know what I mean? Back with the Time Trapper arc and stuff like that, like he had a constantly was like giving us multiple double page spreads.
Yeah, I would agree. It feels like it feels similar to Jorge Jimenez on Batman right now, who has been on Batman through James Tynion, Chip Zdarsky, Matt Fraction now. Like, you could tell, like, dude ain't gonna stick around unless he has like a love for Batman in a big bad way, and it feels like Dan Mora has that same level of appreciation for Superman.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like I loved Ma Kent getting struck down, and it was brutal. Like,
No, you gotta say it that way. I didn't love that. It hurt.
I love like Clark being completely torn between his friends in the Watchtower, and then like having that conversation up there, and like just the back and forth between Cosmic Girl and Lightning Lad, like, ooh, the man of steel is triggered. Like, they were so brutal.
Well, and you could tell he's totally taken by surprise as well, because like I was explaining, the Legion has an appreciation for Superman. So like, he knows this in his head. So he would be none the wiser. There's no way he could anticipate that they would turn on him, albeit, the fact that Saturn Girl shows up looking like she just hit up the hot topic. But outside of that, how is he supposed to know? And then they just, bombard him with all of this stuff. The other thing that I really like about this, and what we get at the end half of the issue, is that Joshua Williamson, what he's doing on Superman, and what's made me a fan, is the level of writing where it's interweaving almost in a Claremont-esque way, if I can kind of use a comparison point. Claremont always had plot A and plot B, and it was always kind of going like this, where like one plot would kind of find its resolution, and then plot B would become plot A, a new plot B comes in, right? And that's what I feel like Joshua Williamson is doing here in a really great way, because every single action that's taking place is always kind of evolving and changing and drawing in those things that we got previously, such as the Time Trapper. The Time Trapper made their appearance as a Legion of Superheroes villain, but you never knew who it was. Now in the pages of Superman, we find out that it is truly a much evolved version of Doomsday that has like now controlled and can manipulate time, and maybe possibly becomes Superman's ally as he, to save him from the Legion, the Omega Legion, whisks him through time into a parallel dimension, in some kind of effort, some way to maybe hold off the oncoming onslaught that is Darkseid and his Omega Legion and all this kind of stuff. Now, the ending of this shows something that is very interesting, and I think it's probably going to be something that gets people very hyped if you are like heavy DC fans. So similar to the Legion, I don't have a terribly large amount of background besides just kind of knowing the foundational level of this. Do you know who Superman Prime is? Do you know the backstory behind this?
No, not really. But wasn't he the one that came out of the big event? What's it called?
Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Yeah. Was that not it?
I'm not quite sure. What I know is that this is like the Earth 1 version of Superman, where essentially there's no other superheroes that exist. Superman exists on this version of Earth, and that's all that there is. So he's the sole superhero. That also makes it a little bit different of a ideology that he carries, and there's been definitely some violent things that he has done, and there's definitely been a little bit of levels of corruption of power, if you will, but it is a different take on Superman. He ain't as wholesome as our boy Clark Kent is.
Right. He's always been like willing to go that extra mile, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like the Injustice version for those of you who like play, the Mortal Kombat and like know the storyline. That what was it? Philip Kennedy Johnson was doing, I think, or maybe Tom Taylor. One of the two. I can't remember which one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. But yeah. Time Trapper saves the day here at the end. Kind of busts Clark out of Cosmic Girl's clutches, and then she's recalled by Darkseid, who's not pleased that she's gone against his direction, and but she was so curious to see why Darkseid was so afraid of him. Yeah, dude, it's always good to have Dan on this book. Mega says Dan's going to keep me reading Transformers. Oh yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to give that a shot here. I would generally find an out for a book like that because I don't have a big love for Transformers, but it's been exciting enough with Daniel Warren Johnson. But then I'm like, okay, well, shoot, it's Dan Mora. So you got a couple issues. You definitely got a couple issues to win me over.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I think he deserves that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have any history with the character at all, Superboy Prime?
Only what I said, but I gotta say, with everything that DC's been doing, I didn't know about Legion before all that much. Well, now I do. I didn't know that much about Superman Prime before.
Yeah, right.
So, I'm sorry, Superboy Prime. Well, now I do. DC, you're doing the damn thing. You've turned me into more than a fan now. Now I'm researching this stuff. Now I'm trying to get my level of knowledge on the DC side to the same tier and level that my level of knowledge for Marvel is. And that was going to be some heavy lifting, and you've done it. So kudos to you.
Oh yeah. All right, our final book of the night. E, I'm going to let you take this one because now I suggest this one, but this one I can't relate to. I think on a level that you can, and also I just knew you were going to love this book, man. I just like looking at the plot and the synopsis and all that. It just sounded like one that was right up your alley, and I'm dying to hear your thoughts on it. So, Ice Cream, I'll set up the plot for you guys. Basically, it's a demented story of a promotion, right? This guy has done all these heinous things at work. He's killed rooms full of his coworkers. He's expecting to get fired. He's expecting this is like a psychological assessment from the whole company. If you've read Ice Cream Man, that's the tie that binds, or at least one of them. One of the little bits of the Ice Cream Man universe. So yeah, the whole company is there, and we get to meet their senior executives as they kind of question this man and decide if he's ripe for termination or for a promotion. They decide at the end, despite all the heinous things he's done, he does deserve a promotion. So, dude, I'm just dying to hear your thoughts on this one.
Let me tell you how close this rings home, dude. Just last week? 2 weeks ago? No, last week. I finished writing appraisals at work for staff. So my brain is still in appraisal mode, like where I'm looking for like different synonyms, like how many ways can you say good and how many ways can you say bad? And I'm finding the synonyms and the ways to say how well people are doing and things like that. So my brain is totally tuned into that, to that wavelength. And then I read this and it creeped me out, of course, because that's what it's supposed to do with an issue of Ice Cream Man, especially if it's doing so in an effective way. Here's what I got to say, all encompassing about Ice Cream Man, but it rings true to this issue as well. More than any book out there, we read books and, for instance, we just talked about Superman. And when I start talking about Superman, I say, oh, Kal-El punch thing, he make me smile, bad guy do this, Kal do this, and boom, bang, pow. And then I talk about, a Marvel book, and I'm like, snicked, Wolverine cuts things. And when I start talking about an Ice Cream Man issue, I start with, it made me feel this. Yeah. You knew exactly where I was going with it. There is no other book that gets anywhere close to it. There are books that try, and there's books that maybe are in the same stratosphere, but no other book gets anywhere close to having that same type of resonant energy that Ice Cream Man does. I can't help but think about how I feel after reading an issue. How do I feel after this one? I feel incredibly creeped out on for a multitude of reasons, right? The notion behind this, that this guy is clearly struggling with mental instability, that he's clearly taken action on the voices in his head, that this, enigma of a company is kind of pushing, the workers through, through the puzzle, right? They're trying to keep the machine running here. They talk about the manipulation and like assigning workers numbers as opposed to names, and like all of the worst corporate stuff that you think of, like when you, for instance, watch shows like Severance. When you think about that kind of stuff, the corporate structure where things become so homogenized that you lose ownership of your own humanity, that's what we're talking about in this issue. But on the flip side, we think of the grotesque nature of that from the corporate aspect, then we also see the humanity being drained out of this individual. And I'm not saying that the corporate entity itself is causing this to happen, but this dude is not right mentally, and he's taking action upon the things that are causing him to be totally wacky bonkers. Wacky bonkers is totally not the right words to use, by the way, especially when he's taking chainsaws to his coworkers in a lunchroom.
Yeah.
But he's very clearly leaning into the worst aspects of himself. And then at the end of the issue, right, the thing that drives it all home, that W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Morazzo are so good at, is then delivering the twist, the turn, or the thing that really kind of makes you question the notion of the whole book, because you think it's one thing and then you think it's another thing, and then it becomes like evolves into this whole other thing itself. It's this amalgamation of all these ideas put together as this individual, this office worker who's done these heinous things, is then basically congratulated and, given a promotion due to the, the work that he's done for the company. It made me feel dirty.
Dude, absolutely. And I love this line. We've been over, you won't believe how much we had to spend on bleach.
Oh, yeah, I need 100,000 more gallons. All right, we'll fill out your budget sheet.
Oh, my God. And like all the little things, like when they were talking about who can blame you, for flirting with your coworker when it came to your cuckolding wife. Like some of the things she said, and then like the woman going, she rode him like a bronco, and they like switch positions. Is like, good Lord.
It was like your two kids are sired by Derek Dunkel or something like that. Whatever. Like, oh my God.
Dude, I thought one of the most endearing sequences was when he had that chainsaw and he's about to go in the room or whatever, and there was the coworker that he had a crush on, and he was like, "There's something wrong with me. Get out of here. I don't want to hurt you," or whatever. And they like said that she had just kept driving and hadn't stopped since. It was just like, man, that was just brutal. And it was just like that. They had that Morazzo had that one little shot of her like kind of giving him a look, like a flirty little look. It was just like, I don't know, man. It was just it was a crushing sequence.
Yeah.
Seeing that go down, dude. I'm reminded about what Junie Ba said in that one episode, or that one issue of the Monkey Meet the Summer Batch, when he was talking about why keep writing these stories, these time old tales of heroes doing the right thing when against the wave of everybody else doing the wrong, when that's not at all how you guys ever act. Like not once. Like, and I think it's something we see a lot in everyday life, is just a lot of people just laying down or not putting up a fight, or speaking up for what's right, or for what's wrong in a lot of cases. And so I love that every time, like you said, every time you read this book, it shakes you awake and reminds you that things aren't okay. And it's okay. I think it's beautiful to have works of art like that. Is it depressing? Yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. It does put you in an existential funk, but such is life, man. And we need art that acts as a mirror in the truest way. And where we're headed in the future, man, it's not going to be fairy tales aren't going to get us out of that situation. We need to be real. We need to be real about the situation we're in and the systems we have in place to deal with that. And I think like there's so many things we can do better, starting with how we treat one another on a daily basis. And this is a book that reminds you of that in a myriad of different ways that I can't help but appreciate and look forward to whenever it comes out.
Dude, reading Ice Cream Man is like having a therapist with a dark sense of humor. That's the best way.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Dude, and speaking of like hope in a story, I'm so curious as to what this book's going to be about.
Yeah. Ice Cream Man, even with what happens in the books, there's an underlying sense of hope. I can't say joy, but there's always something there that makes you appreciate maybe what you have, or maybe what you could have, or what you should be doing. I don't think it's all dark and dreary, because that's one note and that's boring and that's tired and that's not anything that we get with Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, no, that's very well said. Completely agree with it. Just to speak on the art real quick here, I love the red and the black panels that Morazzo did. They went, and he went ultra violent in this one. That was rad. That was rad to see. But yeah, definitely pop. But this one was incredible, dude. And it's just like how it started leaning to them and encouraging him, and like towards the end, and just like the climax of the issue was incredible. So yeah. Zara said, given your reading of ICM 44, I'd be curious to your take on Ennis's The War. I've never read that one, dude. I love it.
It just came out today. So yeah, make sure that you watch the monthly comic book review over on Pop Culture Philosophers tomorrow. It may come up there. If not, make sure you check out On the Pull List on Sunday, where I will absolutely be going over my thoughts on it.
Who's on the art on that one, bro?
Becky Cloonan.
Oh shit.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Yeah, we gotta cover that, brother. Hell yeah. So yeah, shout out Zero. Definitely going to be covering that one way or the other. Thanks for the rec though, bro. All right, man. Let's do our covers, dude. Why don't you lead us off with this beaut? I love this one.
Like I was talking about with this last week's issue of Ice Cream Man, it's all about the artwork for me, and the artwork definitely popped off. I love just the things that they've done with Absolute Martian Manhunter. I feel like they really put a lot of love and care into the design of the characters and the design of the book, and the way that they were going to allow artists, not just Javier Rodríguez, but the people even that have done the variant covers on here, a real wide gamut to play around in this sandbox that has a lot of different variations on what you can do with it. This cover definitely speaks to that idea.
Yeah, I love how artists, when like it seems, especially to this title, like where there's this beautiful kind of like artistic freedom to the book, like you can feel that kind of carry over to the effort and energy these guys put into the covers for this book specifically.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of wonderful abstract geometry that you see in this cover. There's the duality of the characters, being that they influence one another and that he's inhabited by this other being. It really is. There's a lot of thoughts behind this cover, and that's why I appreciated it so much. On top of the color palette that's chosen here, because it really, really, really works. Our boy Jim Mahfood, Food One, killing it on this cover of the finale of Spencer Ackerman's run on Iron Man. I thought it was a little bit undersung, if I'm being honest here, and I think that it tied in very, very well to the One World Under Doom event, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the cover. It's Jim Mahfood, and if you know Jim Mahfood, he is the most wild gonzo Ralph Steadman-esque reincarnation of that kind of pathos, that ethos in the comic book form, and I love what he's doing with this version of the steampunk-esque Iron Man.
I love the Mike, this new Mike Spicer collaboration, this relationship that's building between these two guys too. Like, I love the colors he chose for all these little tendrils and the skulls on the bottom. Like, it's so man, it's so good. Is this like what the Iron Man looks like, or did Jim just go like fucking super rad with? He
went super rad with it, but it's not outside of the scope of what he looks like. It is definitely like almost like a medieval type of suit that he's put together. It's very steampunk looking.
Cool.
Yeah, Jim Mahfood doing Jim Mahfood things here. But you're right. Mike Spicer plays a big part on that too. Mahfood used to be colored by Justin Stewart, but I feel like Justin Stewart's branching out, doing some other cool things here, particularly with his Kentucky Kaiju series that he's working on. I mean, just the scope of this cover looks awesome. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell everyone to run out and buy Godzilla versus Justice League 2, but I gotta say, man, this
great though.
This cover slaps, dude. Do I love Godzilla? Yes. Do I love the Justice League? Yes. Smash them together. I don't know what kind of experience you're going to get, but I can say that this cover is awesome. And I love the powering up of Godzilla right there.
Oh, yeah. It's brilliant. The way it's lit too, like down at the bottom. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Love it. Yes. So freaking good. I believe this is the last one I have here. Yeah, Danny doing Danny things here on one of my favorite books that's come out this year, The Seasons by Rick Remender and Paul Azaceta. Just killing it, like a master of negative space here, putting on the showcase with none other than Winter, one of the sisters, the Season sisters themselves. So yeah, really banger covers that came out last week here. That was just a sampling of what we had here. So, Stu, I believe that you're up next.
Hell yeah, good stuff, bro. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Omega says the first arc was pretty fun.
There we go. All right.
Oh yeah. He said, and the war was one of the better stories originally put out in the first couple of issues. Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, hopefully they build upon that a little bit more and give it something outside of just a short story.
Oh, yeah. All right. Up first for me, dude. No surprise. I went with the absolute Martian Manhunter. I went Dustin to win.
Nice.
Yeah, I just love the abstract kaleidoscopiness of this one. And like you said, the duality that we get in this one as well. So I just love the aforementioned artistic ambition that's going on these Martian Manhunter covers. Dude, I found this Alexander Lozano, like this name, this hot name that is really killing it on a lot of Thirst Trap covers, came through for this Wolverine Sabretooth and freaking destroyed this though, man. This thing is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Man. Wolverine and Sabretooth thrown down. There's also Leonardo Romero, like one of those Retrovision covers that they're doing. That was really dope. I almost put on the covers of the week.
Some of those are very sick. Yeah. In fact, I know for a fact our next episode, I'm going to be showcasing at least one of them.
Yeah, dude. They some of those look great. They've done a good job with those. But this one was this one had to take first seat. So yeah, dude, just want to shout that one out. Alexander Lozano. Raza doing a great Mr. Terrific. I love Raza's work. I think he's criminally undersung. So yeah, just dope scene. I think he shines on a character like Mr. Terrific. So just love this one.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, love the glow. And then Gabriel Delgado doing Spidey, dude. Just love Gabriel's work all the time. Every time just gorgeous, and this one is no different. So just wanted to shout that one out. And then our boy,
like arguably the most arachnid of almost any artist that's out there. He looks like menacing whenever he does Spider-Man. Yeah,
and I like the Bolt too. It's not like he's a strong ass Spider-Man like this Spider-Man would thump you, but like he doesn't look like it's not too much. He's not too scrawny either.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Spider-Man to have a little.
You like a beefy Spider-Man?
Yeah, a little meat on his bones, man. I mean, I get that he's a teenage kid and whatever. I'm just saying. Anyway. Yeah, Dan the Man doing amazing Spider-Man covers, dude. I had to shout this one out. I had no idea who this Hellgate character is, but I just wanted to shout out our boy on ASM.
Heck yeah, nothing wrong with that, dude. Like, you
Yeah.
got Black Cat action on there. We got Spidey. Hellgate is Hellgate. If you don't know, that's no one is going to fault you for that.
Yeah, exactly. We've been seeing Dan all over DC. I think we're going to see him with a bunch of Marvel variants here in the near future, since he's going to be on that Punisher book. So look out for more
I cannot
Dan
wait.
Marvel covers. Oh yeah, Comics of Futures Past for today, bro. Talk to me.
Yes, Comics of Futures Past here. I wanted to showcase this issue very honestly, just because I love this series of covers that were done at the time, the anniversary issues where each one of them had the borders of all the Marvel superheroes.
Like, I totally get why people collect those. They're so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like, seeing the Alex Ross Timeless like variants that keep coming out and things like that. This is they're so freaking cool looking. But this issue, it is a very cool issue here, released on July 23rd, 1986, way back in the day. New Mutants number 45 was the Marvel anniversary issue, featuring a cover by Barry Windsor Smith with great work here. The interior is actually done by Jackson Butch Geiss, and it all revolves around, again, this is the New Mutants, and it was about a person kind of coming of age, realizing that they are in fact a mutant, and coming up in a world that fears and hates them. And it was really a vocal point about the dangers of what's, the powers of words can do, and the powers of the actions or inactions that you take as an individual, right? And taking individual ownership of things. This person, this newfound mutant, if you will, just can't deal with the things that are happening in their life, and they end up taking their own lives. And it really just resonates in a deep, deep, deep way, particularly with the New Mutants here, who are, again, under the guidance and leadership of Magneto at the time, who had taken a heroic turn. And they're not a superhero team. And let's not forget that. I think that's what it makes this book a special run under Claremont's time with the book. They're not a superhero team. They get into superheroics, but they are really teenagers trying to find their way in the world, being at a certain age that they are. And it hits Kitty extraordinarily hardly, and it just has a real impact on her. And I think that this rings true to some of the things that we experience much later for that same character, particularly in Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men run, where a mutant is influenced to take their own life in the Danger Room, and it was under the care of Kitty Pryde at that time, and that is really the catalyst that kickstarts the entirety of the Astonishing X-Men run. So I think there's a lot of things, right? A lot of echoes that come directly from this issue here that, again, was released July 23rd in 1986, and New Mutants number 45 is this week's Comics of Futures Past.
Hell yeah. Man, New Mutants is kind of like a big blind spot for me, besides like some of the Sienkiewicz stuff. But
Demon Bear is definitely the thing that
right?
kind of just stands out in a big bad way. But when I got back into comics, one of the things I told myself that I was going to do was I was going to finish my Claremont run, and that didn't mean Uncanny X-Men. That meant my Claremont run, which includes Excalibur, which includes New Mutants, which includes X-Men, which includes Wolverine. I wanted to get his entirety of his initial time on the X line, right? I'm not talking about like in the late 90s where they tried to. Yeah. We're not talking about that.
You want the good stuff.
I want the good stuff. And I'm very close. I'm like 20 issues away from having
that's sick.
Everything.
Wow, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you got his autograph yet?
Haven't gotten his autograph yet.
If you could take like 3-4 books for Claremont, where do you take it?
Uncanny X-Men number 172, without a shadow of a doubt.
Which one is that?
That is the wedding invitation of Wolverine, Logan, and Mariko that has "Hey, don't forget the beer" signed on the bottom of it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, love that issue. It was, if my memory is true, it was either that or Wolverine number 1, his ongoing series, that were my first issues that I ever got, my very first comics that I ever owned.
That's dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get that signed then, man. We got to wait in line for Claremont next year.
Maybe not next year, but maybe sometime.
Well, yeah, not next year. We're running out of time,
Yeah, I know it, man. Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen eventually. I'll definitely decide to put my time and effort into it.
Shit, where did I put worth mentioning? Oh yeah. Before we get to next week's comics, anything you want to shout out or mention that we didn't get to?
Worth mentioning. There's definitely
Could
a couple
be
things.
news, whatever.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple things in the world of comics. Outside of comics, though, let's see. I've been watching Ted Lasso a lot, and I tried to hold back because like when too many people say something is good, I'm like, there's no way that it's really good. Like, come on, like this is like definitely a lie. And I dove in, and it's actually really good. Like, I mean, it's just heartfelt and warm and joyful and hopeful. And I think I need that right now. So I've been digging it. I've been burning through those. Yeah, I've been really digging those. In the world of comics, Green Arrow, guys. Like, I'm gonna bring the mic in here real close here. Green Arrow friggin' slaps, guys. If you're looking for gritty, street level, crime driven super heroics that's kind of speak towards some real life human things, guys, check out Green Arrow, written by Chris Condon with artwork by Montos.
Montos is killing it, and I'm telling you, Montos ain't gonna take a break, bro. Like Montos went the distance on the Green Lantern stuff. Like Montos goes hard, so I think like if they do take a break, it'll be few and far between. So
yeah, exactly. Undersung. He's flying under the radar, just like I was talking about Javier Rodríguez flying under the radar. So don't let it miss you. Make sure that you're reading Green Arrow because it is absolutely worth it. How about you, though, man?
TV wise, dude, I got to shout out Unreal. It's behind the scenes look at WWE, and like I think I love those type of shows. So whether you're a wrestling fan or not, it's super dope to see kind of how the sausage gets made, as it were. And it's a cool look at some of those superstars and things they go through, how they put the stories together, all that stuff. So I love those like behind the scenes type shows, whether it be that or like Hard Knocks for the NFL or stuff like that. Like I'm always a sucker for that type of stuff. I love lifting the curtain.
I feel like Ma and Pa Hoskins were like sitting you in front of the TV, and you were like, a little 5-year-old watching VH1 behind the music as a young lad.
I don't know if it's that ingrained in me, bro. But yeah, it's more just like laziness and watching streaming TV for too many hours in a row type of shit.
Yeah, that'll do it too.
But yeah, it's fire. Oh yeah, Omega says Happy Gilmore too. Absolutely.
It was all
right.
I'll check it out. I got a soft spot for the OG Happy Gilmore.
And I is I think about the best you can hope for. So if it's then that's with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. War is from Hell or Darkness. Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Nice.
And then what did I want to shout out comic wise? Hold on, there was something. Kaya, of course. Oh, Mike Allred has some really dope pages in that new history of the DC Universe book.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Number 2. Yeah. He had a bunch of really cool layouts in that. I wanted to shout that out. Yeah, Kaya's been terrific. And there was one other thing. I should have. Oh, Lost Fantasy number 3, guys. We haven't really. Have we talked about this one yet?
No, we haven't. Did we? Maybe we may have talked about issue number 1, but Lost Fantasy, dude. Lost Fantasies. I'm having a great time with that series.
Yeah, absolutely. Great art, super cool story, engaging. A lot of cool high concept stuff going on. Really cool mix of. What would you call it? A blend of, dude? It's got a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, high intrigue with a blend of crime and fantasy. I think you toss those two together, and you're gonna get that kind of stuff. I don't want to say Game of Thrones because then that I think there's a lot of weight behind that, but it's more Game of Thrones high fantasy than say, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a cheesy high fantasy thing. What was that movie with the talking dragon? Pick any one of those talking dragon movies. It's not that. It's more Game of Thrones.
I mean, Game of Thrones technically had talking dragons in a sense. So.
Crap! Did they talk? I pieced out as soon as Pedro Pascal's eyes got gouged out. Spoilers.
What, dude? Why didn't he stay around? You couldn't stomach the loss
of Pedro. No, who could? He was the dude. He was the guy. Series loses him. He lost me. Forget it. And from the sounds of it, I
learned
made the
something
right
new.
choice.
I learned something new about my buddy today. That is so adorable that you just that was a bridge too far. Yeah, that was brutal, man. I remember being over at my friend's house for that finale and the fight, and then you thought he had won the fight and got the upper hand, and then
He did, and hubris got the best of him. Very similar to one Reed Richards. Happens to him very often. I still haven't seen Fantastic Four, though, by the way.
it's unfortunate because it's incredible.
I know. I'll get there.
All right. Well, I done lost my train of thought, but yeah, that'll do it. I think that's good enough for work mentioning this week. What are you reading this coming week coming up?
Oh, it's a short week. It's a fifth Wednesday kind of week. Well, we got some good stuff here coming out. I've already read Ultimate Spider-Man. I've read Spider-Man Wolverine. Gosh, I read something else too. I can't remember what it is here. Of the things that I haven't read and the things that I'm actually excited for, though, Speed Racer. I'm not a fan of the property, but it's David Pepose, and he's been killing it on Space Ghost, and he's done really fantastic things with properties that I haven't been fans of in the past, and he's kind of turned it around on me. So I'm ready to see what Speed Racer is all about. I think that's going to be a sneaky pick for me. Santos Sisters, we already talked about. The Eisner Award-winning Santos Sisters is coming out here, issue number 9. One issue removed from the PCP Army Bad Batch shout-out that we got in there. So I'm really excited to read that. Let me see here. Let me check my notes if you don't mind here real quick. What are you looking forward to while I pull this up here?
Man, like all these mentioned here real quick. I want to get to hold on. Near Zero's comment. You mentioned Ace and Spidey and Wolverine a few weeks ago, and I was looking for recommendations for good series to get into. Thanks for the Rex. I like the both.
Great.
Hell yeah, dude. Ace is brilliant. One of them.
When I was talking about Ice Cream Man and things that, where I say it makes me feel ... Assorted Crisis Events is the one that gets the closest to that feeling, but it's still,
absolutely.
It's still got to reach a little bit.
No, definitely agree with you there. Spider-Man and Wolverine, I cannot wait for. I did not know we were getting a new issue of that one this week, so I'm definitely hyped for that. Dude, Carrie Andrews, I just love the love that they're putting into that book. Ultimates, I'm here for Ultimate Spider-Man. I've read actually. I really enjoyed that. Ultimate Spidey 19 was dope.
Yes.
What else, man? News from the Fallout, I'm here for. Have you read that one yet?
No, haven't read that one yet. Yeah, I'm looking at my notes here. What you see is almost what you get. The only thing that's really not listed here is Lazarus Fallen number 2 and The War number 1. So books that we've kind of heard about here through the chat. So just like we're recommending chat,
out of Alcatraz too, number 5.
Man,
I know you fell off that book.
Yeah, I didn't want it to happen, but it did. But that's got to be wrapping up though. Is this the final issue? Do you know?
I'm not sure, bro. I think you might be right though. Yeah, it's been good though. I think I'm still on 3, but excuse me. I definitely recommend it to you guys.
Okay, yeah, I got to circle back around. That'll be a trade reading kind of situation.
Yeah, good trade read.
Yeah.
All right, that will do it for our show this week, guys. E, do you want to go ahead and tell these people, guys, we've got a new show coming out. Again, this is why we're keeping Incan Insights on a permanent home here on Dr. Doom's Fan Club. E has got a new show that's going to feature both of us on Tuesday nights over on his channel. So E, go ahead and plug away, bro.
Yeah, new show. I can finally say it. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks here. Premiering next Tuesday, though, on August 5th here. Notes from the Editors, an Incan Insights show where me and Stu are going to get together and we're going to talk about this wonderful world of comics outside of the scope of what just came out this week here, including topics like our very first one here, our Mount Rushmore of comic creators, who we're choosing, why we're choosing them, how we came to these ideas. But more importantly, we want you guys to be involved here in the chat here. What is your Mount Rushmore of comic books? So be involved. Let us know. We can't wait to see you there.
No rules, guys. Just make it your own thing. You know what I mean? That's what a part about like what I love about what we're doing here. We're just not really setting any guidelines. We're creating our own list. So create your own list and why, your top 4 is your top 4.
Yes, exactly. So every Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, Notes from the Editors on 9-panel grid here. Again, an Ink and Insight show. So if you like what you see here, if you're hanging out with us on the regular, come check us out over there. Outside of that, you can check me out on 9-Panel Grid every Sunday morning for my weekly comic book thoughts and reviews. You can check me out every Tuesday with the cover story, going over the weekly news topics that have come out in the world of comics, along with my pull list, my favorite variants, my favorite trade paperbacks and hardcovers coming out. And then this Sunday, very early for me, I'm going to be over on Lettuce Comics with Hagen and Nate from Hall Yeah Comics here, chatting it up with them early morning for the Sunday morning hangover show. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be a good time.
Oh yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't think I have any promos to plug other than the Patreon, guys. Patreon.com. We've done a horrible job at updating it, so I keep wanting to plug this thing and not update it, so I need to do a better job at that. But yeah, head on to patreon.com/Insights. You can subscribe to us there, get hopefully a sneak peek at everything we got coming out. So as always, you can find me at Dr. Doom's Fan Club on IG and YouTube, and E at 9-Panel Grid. 9 spelled out on IG, and then the number 9 on YouTube. So check us out there. Make sure you're subscribed. But as always, appreciate y'all joining us. Everybody in the chat. Honestly, I love y'all. So good to see y'all every week. Really appreciate y'all sharing your opinions and being part of the show. It's what makes it so much fun. It makes it feel like I'm doing this show with like 6-7 people rather than just D and I. So we really appreciate y'all coming through and sharing your opinions. And y'all have such great taste. So thank you for sharing the books that you share. So Omega, Zero, who else we have in the building? John, Merck, appreciate y'all. Simpleton, Station, y'all. So I hope everybody has a good week. We will see y'all back again here next Wednesday. And make sure you check us out over on 9-Panel Grid on Tuesday night. Until then, y'all.